Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone around the world. I am Paul Sisler, and this is In the Moment. The things of life, anything, everything, nothing, something. I mean, there are so many things we have to deal with in life. Some are pleasant, some are unpleasant. Some things we control, some things we don't. And today I have the artisans of the spirit with me to kind of go over the things of life. Well, hello, 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 Shadow Fox, Lee Two Hawks. How are you today?
She told me to say hi first. So I was saying hi first. Hi first, yeah.
It's gonna be. Can you tell? It's gonna be one of these shows. I have no idea where it's going. It's just gonna go somewhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
It's gonna,
Everywhere.
It's
and
gonna
maybe
get
nowhere.
up and went. Yes.
Yeah, got up and went.
Yeah.
Yes. And he still thinks it's Halloween.
It is. It is. Halloween is every day of the year.
That's right.
We all was Christmas.
Don't we all wear masks? We
Absolutely.
wear a social mask. We wear a private mask. We wear a business mask. Whoa! It just got dark. The sun went behind the clouds.
Something.
Yeah. There you go.
There it is.
We did not. We have no idea. Okay. So that was something.
Well, here's the thing that happened to me. I got into the car. I didn't tell you this. The other day, got into the thing. Yes, I got into the car.
Which is the thing.
And when I sat down on the car, all four windows dropped. They opened purely by themselves. I touched no buttons. I hadn't even touched the steering wheel yet. So there was that. And there are other things that are happening that are very, very odd.
Yeah, like the dishwasher starts all by itself.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we thought we'd do is we thought we'd have just a little bit of fun with this, okay? Because Lee Two Hawks had woke up this morning and he says, "There goes the darkness." What is with this?
Sun.
No, the sun didn't move.
Oh,
anyway.
The clouds do. The clouds do. But that's okay. It kind of gives a nice effect to the show.
Anyway.
It's something.
So it is. So Lee woke up this morning. Lee Two Hawks woke up this morning. He says, "How about everything? Anything?" He goes, "Anything." And I says, "Well, anything could be everything, and everything could be nothing." And so we decided to have a little fun with this. So Lee Two Hawks is going to represent the anything. I'm going to represent the everything. And Paul?
The nothing.
Or the something.
Well, you two are the sublets of me.
No.
Because if you have everything, you wish for nothing. If you have nothing, then you want everything. If you say anything, you can make a choice.
Hey. I like the everything.
Sure, you've always wanted everything. You can want as you wish. You'd want for anything.
I don't want for anything.
You don't want for anything?
No, I
don't. You don't wish for anything?
No.
You desire nothing?
No. Yes, I desire for this segment to go very well.
Well, first let me define thing. Dictionary definition of thing, okay?
A thing.
That which is done, has been done, or is to be done. That's a thing. A happening, an act, a deed, an incident, an event, etc., etc. What a thing is this? What thing is this? That which
that would help.
Excuse me. That which constitutes an end to be achieved, a step, the next thing in a process, that which is conceived, everything in the universe, everything in the universe. How about that?
Oh, that's my! Funny. We're going dark again. This is going to be fun. This is the. This is the everything.
I love it. I love it. This is great.
She's thinking, this is her aura emanating, thinking thoughts that shouldn't be thought.
Well, again, it is that vibrational energy, which might really eradicate a lot of the equipment.
That has happened, by the way.
Yes, it has.
Videotapers we hired, couldn't get anything.
All the batteries were going dead immediately. Yeah. We had fun with that.
Yes, we did.
So, Paul, if you are the nothing or the nothingness, which is therefore a thing, which is therefore encompassing of everything, because we have the the micro and the macro and so on and so forth. Go ahead, have fun with nothing.
Oh, absolutely. Because see, nothing is the absence of anything.
No.
Nothing is the absence of everything.
Uh-huh.
It's the absence. It's without. And and when you look at the absence of anything or everything, let's just take the whole universe and how far away every sun, every planet is, and in between all of that stuff is nothing, the absence of anything. There might be little particles here and there, but nothing is the greatest of all.
Yes, but within nothing is anything.
Everything.
Yeah, but everything is a constituent of anything, because if you say you can have everything, you need a choice. If you can say I have nothing, you have multiple choices. If
Right.
you ask for anything, if you say I wish that I'd have anything, you can give them primal flow.
Right.
You
But see,
know,
primal
you have
ooze.
everything. If you have everything, you still have nothing.
Well, again, we
That's
can
right.
take a look at the thing. We're going to have fun playing on this because it really does have to do with how we qualify something, right? How do we qualify it? What does it mean to you? What would you like as a result? And so when we speak, and again, it's going to be between, that part of logic and reason. And this is where it gets really, really fun, right? Come on, Paul. Let's logically think and reason through the thing.
Isn't that something?
No, it could be everything.
Well, definition of something is as yet to be defined or delineated or undistinguishable from all other things. Isn't that something? Is something I would like to do? Is there something I should know? So, is something an imperative, or must it be, or is it open to choice or deliberation? Well, there you go.
oh my. Oh.
Like cosmic love is differentiated or something different than love we have for mate or family, etc., on this earth plane.
Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
And here's the thing: unless something is already something as being defined as what it is, with absolutely no way to change it, then that thing is that thing until something comes along and makes it not that thing, and then it becomes something else.
So do we begin by nothingness? Do we begin? Do we begin? Wait a minute. Do we?
No, we exist in nothingness.
That could be.
If that's the case, then all is illusion.
Yeah, exactly.
Bingo.
So as a child, we come into this world with there's no real greater awareness. We have a memory, perhaps. We have because we can't express anything other than I'm cold, I'm hungry, or I'm wet.
But on his thesis that we are we come from and we are nothing. We cannot come into the world because nothing comes in the world because the world doesn't exist.
But see, we are everything because we are atoms.
We are everything.
Yeah.
We are a collaboration of atoms that always have been and always will be. Because now here's where the logical one comes in. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only change form. And that energy, which we are a collaboration of atoms, which are all energy, and we have always existed in the nothing. So we've always been something that has existed in the nothing. And we continue to go on and on and on. And everything that is around us in the nothing is a part of us because we're connected to it, because we have atoms that have come from everywhere and everything and every universe and every existence that ever has been and ever will be is all part of us, and we are connected to all of it.
So what is the dialectic imperative? What is the dialectic imperative? On a roll here, so
Go
you
for it.
call that a roll?
I'm just
I was
saying
looking for the
our,
radius, you know.
I'm just saying that our existence, whatever we are, whatever this collaboration of atoms has come together to put forth, that we look at and we identify, we give it a name, whether it's Shadow Fox, whether it's Lee Two Hawks, whether it's Paulie J, no matter what we give a name to it, it's only here momentarily in that collaborated form until it becomes another collaborated form.
Well, as the Indian who sat on a bench on a tree stump with a one of the generals when we were destroying my people, they were sat on this tree stump, and the general said, "Well, I think I'll give this place a name," and called it Yellowstone. And the chief bowed his head and looked sad. And the general said, "Well, why are you sad?" He says, "Now that you have named it, you own it." Something to think about.
Yep.
It's been qualified.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh my.
And boy, do we humans love to qualify things.
We do.
We love to label things. You know, it's like we can't exist unless something is named, and it's like instead of just that beingness.
Okay, now we have to qualify. We have to label things, because when I ask you for a wrench, you say, "Do you want the dragon tooth one or the one that goes snap, snap, snap?" What are you talking about?
I call channel locks the dinosaur teeth. I really do. You know, it's terrible. I know. I just see things a little differently. Come on, look at you. I mean, really, do they not look like a T-Rex? You know, kind
Yeah,
of like.
there we have a perceptual bias.
Yeah.
See, that is your perceptual bias. And my perceptual bias, it's a tool to grab things with that hold tight.
Yeah, but
And then
in my
flip back and
perception,
forth. dude.
but
hold
in
on,
my
hold
perception,
on. Are either one of you wrong in your
no, because it's everything.
Because nothing
The
is
dinosaur
wrong.
teeth are definitely a thing, and the dinosaur teeth. If he says to me, "Please go get the dinosaur teeth," I know exactly what he's looking for. If he says channel locks, I'll come back with pliers.
But now that I know that you've qualified the channel locked a dinosaur, I can do that. But the first time you said that, I said, "What the hell are you talking about?"
He did. So if we were to qualify who we are, okay, think about this.
But we can't,
What
because
if-
we aren't. We're nothing.
Yes, but we are. What if we are a flame? What if we are an unfed flame? Can that really exist? It's not on fire. We see fire in our existence as something that burns, right? It has to be fed. It has to consume that the burning of, say, we're having a campfire, right? Something is on fire. It is burning. It is transforming from one energy into another, and it radiates out heat. But what if, when we speak of spirit, when we speak of who we are, because spirit is within every single atom of our body, how can we ignite that? How do we glow? How do we burn? Is it touch? Is it hot? Ooh, well, I could be pretty hot sometimes. I don't know. See? Never mind.
Oh, thank you, Cornelia, for the heart. I love you, Cornelia. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh my goodness.
All right, now, wait. When the question of love, we mentioned cosmic love. Okay, now, love is at one ment, or atonement. Same spelling, at one, atonement. ATONEMENT.
Wait. Oh, Paul,
Ding.
ding. Oh my. You blew it, Paul. It was a thing. It was coming right at you, and you didn't do it.
Well, maybe it wasn't a thing. Maybe it was just
my.
Thank you. There we go. It's a little slow on the uptake, but that's okay.
Oh. You know, oh my is
That's all backwards, by the way.
Yeah, backwards. Yeah.
So that's the nothingness.
Yes. No, that is something that has nothing to it. Oh my.
Cornelia, really? This had to be the one you tuned into, right? I mean,
Well, welcome to the evolutionary process of
of
nothing.
things.
Of nothing. Yeah.
It is, just so you know, Cornelia, okay. He is anything, I am everything, and Paul is both nothing and something.
Well, we are all something.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm just simply nothing. I am
Okay, so we're all
Then you
something.
can have no atom, you can have no electrons, you can have no
Right.
quantum of anything, because
and
quantum
yet
is a
all
grouping of
exists
things.
within me, and
Yeah.
all exists within me.
Yeah, because it doesn't exist. It's nothing.
Okay, so what was your thing now?
The thing, evolutionary process. You want to talk about evolutionary process? Okay. All right. The evolutionary process, as maybe one could possibly understand it in my own demented thinking, this is the way I understand it, is the working out of the interrelation between God and this world, between cause and effect, between life and form, based upon this attractive nature of cosmic love, because all love is attractive in nature. Cosmic love is the extreme of that, as witnessed in its minor reflected replication in our sense or appropriation of family love or mate love, all of which transform sensibilities and perceptions into a brighter realm. It is a reciprocal at one.
Ooh, I like that. At 1 minute.
Thank you.
Atonement.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So a needle pulling thread. Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to do? Okay, I can fully delineate this. Okay, cosmic love. What's just the difference? It is attracting. It is fusing. It is producing cohesion as a synthetic vision.
Ooh.
Buddha showed the process, which is active intent. Christ showed both the process and the goal. And the goal is synthesis. The process is inclusion.
Ooh.
Something to think about.
Oh, now that is something way out there, right? Which is everything and yet nothing. All of it. Inclusiveness. Oh. Now, let me just guys, we're just trying to have fun with this. I mean, sometimes we just got to have a little bit of laughter and spice things up a little. So when we're talking about spicing things up, something is on my computer here, and I don't know what it is, but that's okay. Anyway,
Your fingerprint.
Well, you talked about spicing it up, and Cornelia showed up, and
I
she
know.
always spices it up. We love you too, Cornelia. And her last comment was in relation to what Lee Tuhawk said: integration versus ascending.
Oh, there's two different things. Oh my, yes. Aha. I like how she said that. Now, if I were to speak on this, we would be sending this discussion in a whole different direction.
And what's wrong with that? This is an open discussion.
I know,
We haven't closed the door on anything.
Anything.
Anything at all.
Everything.
Everything and nothing at once.
But I was going to focus on something else.
Something, exactly.
Because when you take a look and what I'd like to speak on, here comes the sun again. I mean, it's either super bright or look at that. It just moved.
Well, the sun could be anything. Sun could be nighttime.
I know, but did you see that? Was that not?
I did saw that. Yeah.
Oh, we're getting played with.
Did I tell you about the time I moved the clouds so I could see the moon?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Even the universe is playing with us today, and so this is why we're playing. Okay. I would like to speak on something though. Limitation, because limitation is a thing, but is it a reality? It is only if you allow it. So let's just say in a human thinking, okay,
Correct.
and a human reasoning. Even those who are studying Stoicism, for instance, they'll say things. Well, there are things that we cannot control, right? So therefore, we have to look at things a little bit different in order to navigate and get through something.
That is the nature of adaptation.
Yes, exactly. So what if within that adaptation, which is a something, a nothing, and an everything, okay, past, present, future, is in right now, what if we were to incorporate or integrate, there we go, integrate the concept that there is no limitation. So there may be something that may be outside what you feel would be outside of your control. That in and of itself would be a limitation. But what we can do is we can qualify that energy of what we cannot control, okay, cannot control, and give it that blessing, give it that that fiery energy that comes into perfection. Okay, so think about a court case. Okay, you may not have any control over this whatsoever because there is another individual that sits before you, okay, and will make a decision. There's evidence here, there's evidence over here, and then somewhere in the middle would be a resounding what? Declaration. So
Attributional finding.
so if we are to navigate and step away from these limitations, because in my own personal belief, and this is something that I've worked on for many, many, many years, okay, is to overcome a limitation. And Lee Tuhoffs can attest, even within the physical body, of how certain limitations were overcome. And again, we can wrap our heads around this, but the moment someone declares, just like Yellowstone, the moment someone declares that they can't do something or that's out of our control, therefore you've already lost it. So instead of saying that, if we adopt that idea that there is no limitation, because that in and of itself is a reaction. You're stepping into a reactatory qualification instead of taking action. So if there was a court case and you are subject to it, you can state the outcome of this will be for the highest and best for all, and then be okay with that. Now, not every single person is going to get their specific way. There may be an accuracy with that. However, what is going to serve the greatest what would be the word? The greatest outcome. What would be the greater result? So when we step into a limitation, then we've accepted it. We own it. So why would we do that? If with everything, with anything, and if nothing is a thing, which do we choose to bring forward? We have that choice. We can be in a reactionary aspect, or we can be taking action. And that action is that declaration of us being okay with that result for the highest and best intent, because we can create that highest and best intent. So therefore, when we say something is out of our control, which it may present that way, but it truly is not. There's the nothingness, okay, that Paul was speaking about. Because in reality, how we react to it makes all the difference in the world, because we can qualify that. So in my own personal life, I will always qualify that energy as being victorious. So if we look at past, present, and future, we have always played the villain, we have always played the victim, and we can always play being victorious.
So, all right, so
those are things.
I do have a question for you. What is the difference between, if there is a difference between reactive to and reflective of?
Go ahead and answer it.
No?
I love
Paul,
it. Paul, go for
reflective to or
it.
reflective of a reaction to.
He's a nothingness.
Okay.
But that's right. If he is nothing, he has absorbed everything.
Exactly.
So he knows.
There's lots of kindness.
That's right.
It's kind of like this. I'm going to take it to a different realm to give that explanation, because when
Yeah.
when you take what Shadow Fox was saying, let me put it into a different aspect of thought process. You've decided that you're going to be, let's say, a runner, okay? And you enter this race, and the guy next to you, you already know he's faster than you. You already know he's stronger than you.
Mhm.
If you, in your mind, say, yep, he's stronger, you've just labeled it, you've just now defined it, you just made him stronger than you.
Stronger.
Now,
Yep.
you can no longer you can no longer have a chance at being stronger, because you just own being the weaker.
Yep.
That is your reaction to.
Yep. Yep.
When you've already put in your mind that he's faster, you've owned it. You just made sure that he is faster. You just made yourself slower. You've just lost the race. You cannot win, because you've already put it in your mind that you can't win. So what's the sense of even competing? Why even be a runner? If the objective of you be getting into running is to become the best that you can be, to be the most proficient, then you don't go into the race saying he's faster and stronger. You go in saying, I am faster and stronger than him. I am going to win. Now, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, because in your mind, if you've already won and you give it everything you've got, even if that person does beat you because they are faster and stronger, you are going to become faster and stronger, because you're going to work harder, because you know you can win that race.
So, Paul, if we're taking a look and say we are looking at limitations, then the major question resides and resounds with, how are these limitations serving us? And so with that explanation, example that you have given, when the moment you've qualified that you are the weaker or the slower one in this race, okay, so you've qualified it, the end result is, even if you came in second or you lost that race, so to speak, okay, you didn't take first place, guess what? That also qualifies and can give that drive in order for the next race to say, I am victorious. I am the fastest runner here, period. And so again, it's what when we can qualify, when we can see what the end result we're looking for is, we qualify it as such, as if it has already happened. So when we're dealing with, and say, limitations or wounds are revealed to us, take a look at them. We don't have to wallow in it. You've already been through it. You've already lived it. You can already recognize it. Here we go with the sun again. I love it. The universe is playing with us. It's shining light on something that should be revealed.
Let me answer my own question. And then I think a perfect example of this is what your father taught me: who wins in this fight, the big guy or the little?
Yep.
Okay, if you recall that, we
yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, the reaction to the moon does not react to the sun. It is existent within its own realm. However, it is reflective in the nature of when we have that full moon. because then it reflects the moon better. It still
It
exists.
reflects the sun.
Yes, it reflects the sun. It still exists, therefore is not reactive to the sun. It is reflective of the sun.
Yeah.
So there's the difference. A reaction to would come into an impulse that if a poisonous snake and you saw it and you were startled, you would back off or somehow manage to do it. If you were frightened, is a reaction and you would run.
Yeah. And just to clarify, because there was a teaching that my father had given all of us children, and it was Randy that brought this forward. And again, we were working out, we were some martial arts, and my brother had said to both Lee Two Hawks and myself, I knew the answer, but we presented it to Lee Two Hawks, and he says, you have two opponents. One very tall, very muscular, very, just massively in charge. And then you have this little one, okay, like what, Goliath and Samson and Goliath. Yeah. Okay. So you have a huge giant and you have this little being, okay? And then you say, okay, well, who's going to win? It's going to be the big guy. It will always come down to the person who truly, truly has the purpose in mind. Meaning, what are they sparring for? What is it? Is it a life and death situation? Is there a fractional aspect that perhaps we're standing up for someone else's freedoms or rights? So the person that carries the greater charge, the greater qualification in definition of a purpose, because simply, why would anybody fight to begin with? So when you consider when you consider all these things of everything, or therefore of nothing, because quite honestly, there is a greater power to be within its silence. There is a greater power of just turning and walking away from those things that create the discord. There is power in just somebody screaming at you. Just smile. Hey, politicians are great with that, right? Politicians are phenomenal. Think about it. People come in and listen, what do they do? They just sit there and smile and go, no, oh, that's nice.
They used to be. Cornelia Blackmore says, I realized that by uncovering more of my limitations and fears, I've been gifted opportunities to give myself love. And I have to tell you, after going back into work, I have found more wounds, and I am right where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you can take the knowledge and the wisdom that you've learned from that, those lessons that are now coming to light, and say, thank you. What a blessing. And now recognize that those limitations or those wounds can no longer harm you unless you focus on them. So why focus on them? Why focus on a negative? Why focus on something that can cause pain, as opposed to the end result of what we're all really searching for at heart? What are we searching for? We're searching for peace, harmony, silence, bliss, joy, love. I mean, a blonde. Yeah. Well, gray. I mean, I might qualify a little bit there. And just like the silver fox. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Indeed, you are.
Like I said, sometimes I can get it hot.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I tell you, last night, my stepson and I, we were on a walk and taking my pup out, let her do her business and stuff. And we see smoke. So we kind of walk a little bit faster, and we realize there's this house that's on fire.
Wow.
It's just starting. And the people are out there with a hose trying to save their home. And I and seeing where the smoke was coming from out of the roof, I knew there was nothing they could do. And we told them that they need to get away from the house. They need to get their car out. They need to get their dog, everything to safety. And we asked them if they've called 911, which they had. The fire department was on the way. And as we're walking down away from it, trying to get some distance from it, and it's starting to, become more turbulent. And there was a neighbor that was outside, and he was like, "Yep, look at these snowbirds. They come back here. They're not even here an hour, and look what happens."
Oh.
We have two people that are out there trying to fight and save their home. It's their vacation home. And whatever the cause was, here's two people that are going to go through a loss.
Yeah.
And you got this other guy that's just right down the road saying these horrible things. No empathy, no compassion. I'm starting to see a lot of this in the world where people will take a nothing and a something starts to happen. And of everything that they could apply to it, they choose negativity.
Oh, but yet they may be thinking that it's comical, it's funny, it's entertaining. It's for them. Many people may find joy within someone else's distress.
Yes.
My thinking is that people who do this, and it's quite consistent throughout time, I can go back 40 years and find the same person, is that in doing this, they feel that they gain a sense of power or superiority by diminishing others.
Yeah.
Yes. Whether it's diminishing events or people, or my dog's bigger than your dog, so therefore, it's diminishing that other dog.
Yep.
Ownability.
Yep. And you are right, Paul, where you can take that nothingness. Okay, like what was it for that person? Is it he just said that just to be heard, to make some point in his favor, and yet no compassion, and yet I bet you 10 to 1 that person compassion wasn't even registering anywhere within his being.
It's because it's a sign of a basic insecurity.
Yes. And so when we take a look at that nothingness, which is insecurity, we can build something out of nothing. And that nothingness and something, anything, comes forward to become everything. Because what did that everything do? It landed, your ears heard it, that foulness was spread like a virus, and so now we're speaking about it because this one person had made a mention of something, but people do it all the time. And this is why, in many aspects, we continue to talk. We continue to bring these messages forward and have these shows and be in spaces, because eventually, it's going to come to a point where every single person on the planet will be accountable and held responsible, in whether here on this earth plane or on the other side. We will be held accountable and responsible for nothingness, anythingness, everything, and everything. Did I cover them all? No, and something. There you go.
Anyhow, we had a fireman stop by the door, asking for donations for the fire department, which is perfectly fine. We thanked him for the service he was providing for the neighborhood, the community. And he says, "Well, it's nice to hear that, because the guy up the road who had a very nice house, probably one of the better ones on the entire block, what he said to me was, 'Why should I donate to you? You've never done anything for me.'"
Wow.
Yeah.
I know.
Wow.
I know. And you know,
And that should be a blessing that their house wasn't on fire.
right.
You know, it's like people just do not get it. And it's like that very insular, very like me. It's like, well, I work for my money. Why should I give you any of it? I know how to feed my kids. Learn to feed your kids. Like, hello.
I know. I want to go back to this for a moment though, because I want to go back through my thought process because I had to debate with myself on whether or not to say anything to that individual. And it was very hard for me to walk away and not put it before him. Where is your empathy? These people have just lost their home. Who are you to be so critical, to think that you're someone that's above that? And I had to debate this within my own head, and yet I said nothing. The reason I chose to say nothing is because I already knew that if I would have said something to that individual, it would not have registered. It would have been a fight.
He probably would have pulled out a gun and shot you.
Well, I don't think he would have gone that far, but it would have been a fight. I would have been creating an animosity that didn't need to be.
Yep.
So instead, I cut that off.
Yeah.
And my stepson and I kept walking. And my stepson, who you and I have had discussions, he was angry and upset. And he all the way home, he was talking about the arrogance of that man, the anger within that man. It ended up being a discussion that my stepson and I had about how we look at things in the world. So there came a productivity from that.
Good.
So that nothing became everything.
Of course, there is that, before I forget it, because you remember better than I. There also may have well been the comeback from that gentleman that, who are you to judge me, type of thing. And another thing that is important also to realize for all of us is that if we recognize arrogance or bitterness or anything in another human being, the only way we can recognize that is if some remnant of that is within ourselves.
We can identify with it.
We identify with
Look
it.
in the mirror.
That's how we recognize it.
It's what you do with it. So you've qualified that, Paul. You recognize, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at someone and say that, you know, they're out of control or they're angry. I mean, it really, you can visually see it. You know, neck bulging out, red face, and there, you know. So I was going to say something. The qualifications, and again, Paul, because you recognize the situation at hand, you recognize and could see the larger end result if something was said, but you utilized that as an instrument. So that gentleman that was playing small, that gentleman, and I use the word loosely, that individual, that gentleman, upon saying that, is definitely playing small. So that's all he can see, that insular action. And so he was actually an instrument put in your pathway in order to have the discussion with your son. This is something coming forward because it was a teaching moment. I love when life presents these beautiful opportunities, like right here and there. Did you witness that? Okay, well, this is what that is. And so we can learn by watching others what not to do.
Right. Well, and it also allows us to recognize the differences in the anger that we have within. Okay. Everybody has some form of anger within, and it's how you utilize that anger and what you do with it. And when you do it to harm others, there's an issue. And that was the aspect of it last night that Joe and I had talked about and all that, is that there's the version of harmful anger.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever the anger issues that this man has, he has to have this superiority over others.
Mm-hmm.
And it's made him who he is, that he cannot be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a form of governance. Okay.
Right.
He who cannot govern himself,
Right.
he cannot govern others. And those who try to govern others cannot govern
Right.
themselves.
And with that came a recognition of the issues that, my stepson is having where he works, on how to now walk away from those things and not allow it to bring him down.
Yes.
Because again, this is the thing. When we look at the nothing, because that's what this man was putting out there.
Yeah.
Nothing of relevancy.
Yep.
That would guide people in a good way.
Yep.
And yet, that's irrelevancy caused a relevancy.
And again, here is in our spaces, Paul, within the spaces, we speak quite a bit about that, about those, the human condition. We speak about those human constructs of those thought patterns. These are the things to which, we present, we speak about. Again, if we're not aware, we are, causing harm or being selfish. Until we have that awareness, we're just going to continually going on and inflicting all of that energy within our atmosphere. And I mean our atmosphere. I mean within even the very room to which we sit, in our cars, in our backyards, in our businesses and where we work. These are the things, that energy. And when you came, let me ask you a question. What did that, when this individual said that, and you could recognize that larger picture, right? This is the key, being able to see something in its grander scheme or grander design. Okay. You said, here are people who have just lost their home, whether it be, a vacation home, whether it be anything. They have parts of themselves in this home. Okay.
Yes.
So you saw that bigger picture. What did it feel like when you entered into that vicinity, that atmosphere that individual put out? When he said that, what feeling did strike you, right? Because it was like almost opposing aspects. Like here you are in that empathy and compassion, and all of a sudden you were struck with that
anger,
nastiness. You felt that. And so he, in essence, was radiating out this superiority of judgment, and just, I mean, human, okay, our human construct, because he doesn't know any better. He's like Diane always says, a little puppy that has an accident on the rug, so that's what he's continually doing. He's continually, literally shitting and pissing in his own space. And so you come walking by with your son, and you get, indoctrinated, like it kind of like pings at you like little arrows. And it's like, ooh, I didn't like that. Well, Paul, you said it. Like, you cut that out. It could not touch you. It could not affect you. You saw the larger scope, that if you were to have said something, then you could have been engaged. And because your son may not have the tools and may not have that register of that self-control that you do, that he, fist could have went flying. And
Oh, yeah.
so you diverted and negated some very nasty ass energy. I do say that word a lot. It's nasty ass energy. And so, hey, kudos. It was a beautiful learning. Yes, it was a beautiful learning opportunity to be able to share how to navigate when
Right.
this stuff happens. Yeah.
Definitely. Because I tell
And
you,
that is everything.
when you asked what the first thing I felt was anger.
Yeah.
It was anger. And immediately I wanted to get in the guy's face.
Yep.
Immediately. And this is where the stoicism comes in.
Yeah.
Because when anger registers, you don't say a word and you don't perform an action.
Mm-hmm.
Because then mistakes happen. Because if I would have reacted like I would have 20 or 30 years ago, the guy would be in the hospital and I'd be in jail. Okay?
Yeah,
That,
he'd take a fight for a hat.
because to me, what he did was just so. Oh man, it just, and where you're saying it didn't have an effect, it had a huge effect. The effect on me is huge.
Yeah.
Because I still have remnants of that anger, and I've been cleansing. I've been cleansing. For the ever since last night when I saw it, I've had to cleanse because that negative energy is here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what you can also do.
And the reason why we're talking about it now is because I need to share. It's not that I want to share the negative energy.
Right.
I want to share the experience that I'm going through. One, to have the positive energy from the people that love me and that I love, to send back that positive energy. So I want that good energy coming so that I can utilize and manifest and help get rid of that negative energy and turn it into the lesson that it's supposed to be.
Here's the other lesson. Here's that end result. The same way we can qualify things such as this is Yellowstone, right?
Yes.
Okay. Paul, you can state to that feeling, okay, that it kind of riled you up a little bit. It might still be within your system, in your purview, in your feeling world. Guess what? Paul, you get to qualify it. You get to nullify it by simply saying, no more. I shut it off. I am not feeling this. This is not mine. I don't own it. No longer will I have it affect my own beingness. And we can go through and we can Palo Santo and we can smudge and we can do all of this. But you can truly, like I said, what you're feeling are the remnants that is reactionary, as opposed to now, because you're recognizing it, you're bringing this forward. We're telling examples and stories that have happened. But if you're still feeling, and this goes out across the board for everybody and anybody, and everything, and something, and nothing.
I call this psychoactive bridging.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're reacting to a momentary rage, anger, or bitterness, whatever that emotion might be. You're bridging it into a foundation you have built for yourself. That says, is this essential for me to respond to? Of what good would it do for me or for this other person?
Right.
What would it cause if and these were your thoughts, what would happen? I get in a fist fight, there might be arrest and this and that might happen, but nothing is going to happen to that guy. He might get a bloody nose, but he's not going to change his mind.
And he's not going to learn anything.
He's not going to learn anything.
Right. He's going to have more anger. He's going to have more resentment. He's going to have more frustration.
And so
I will
Paul,
be adding to that cause, not exactly.
Right. So Paul, but if it, if you feel that it's still kind of upsetting, it's still within your vibratory action, clear it.
Oh, I've already done that. I've already cleared the negative energy of it.
Yep.
I hold on to the lesson and the empathetic aspect of it for purpose of refining self.
Yes.
Okay.
And that
The
is
negative energy is gone. That's
Yeah.
been burnt away and shut down and shut off.
but
Now
the
there's
feeling, but the feeling, is that feeling still within your
no. The anger and the rage is gone. That no longer exists. I shut that down.
okay.
I already said to myself, I will not allow this to enrage me or
Yep.
anger me any further. It's done.
So
It's
is
gone.
the injustice
Bye.
so and now I'm going to speak your language, because part of this comes down to that feeling of injustice, right? How dare this person, where, okay, again, we could be, is it a judgment? Is it an assessment? Or is it something that is totally counterintuitive for the energy for which you have manifested within yourself? And so therefore, it's like a shock to the system. When we can take a look and recognize that these things, that atmosphere, that energy, that the atmosphere around people, we tend to intermix with it. However, we can walk among these people and not be affected by it, and we can cleanse that energy very, very quickly for whatever they're putting out. The thing is they will continue to put it out until they become aware, like that individual will become aware, like that was a pretty dumbass thing to say. But therefore, is that a judgment? With me stating something like that, is that a judgment on my side? See, these are the things that we can come. I mean, I don't mean it. I just said it as an example. But, was he a dumbass? Is he just ignorant? And I use the word ignorant, not in any negative connotation. Ignorance just means you do not know something.
Right, without
Yeah.
knowledge. No,
So I
see,
think what has to be asked is, if you place the aroma, you place a rose with its magnificent aroma next to a dead, decomposing rat, which would be the most effective?
oh, the death of the rat.
Yeah. So that's what we have to contend with. We as people who are trying to be noble, to have to carry integrity, to have to look at the world and have that compassion and understanding. And understanding is one of the key words,
Right.
because you understood what was happening or could happen, and you chose not to go that road, and you understood there's a different way to go.
Yeah.
Right. But let me put this out there. Let's say the rat's not dead. Let's just say the rat's infected. All right. Now, hear me out. And
It's a thing.
the rat's infected, and it's got this just nasty ick coming out of it. And you put the rose on it, and that higher energy, it could help heal it. So, what I did is I didn't send this guy animosity. I sent this guy love.
Mm-hmm.
I sent this guy love.
Yep.
In my thoughts, I put it out there that I want him, that every time he looks in the mirror, he's going to feel my love when he's looking at himself. And with that, he's going to realize his own arrogance and his own ignorance. And one day when he looks in that mirror, he's going to wake up and see the real him. And he's not going to like who he sees, and he's going to change who he is. And that's what I put out there.
One of the things Shadow Fox and I have discussed many times and come to agreement on, it seems to be for probably 90% of the people that hold on to this sense of augmented self. I am the greatest, and this and that, and everybody else is below me. The one thing, about the only thing that seems to give that transmutation is trauma. Something that happens to them personally.
Right.
Terribly traumatic. They get a different view. They get a different understanding of perhaps how should one behave.
So, Paul, when you really think about it, when this guy was standing in judgment for somebody's loss of their home. You know, when we take a look at divine intervention or divine justice or poetic justice, would he get a different feeling or a different awareness if his house burned?
Now, there is a thing I believe called divine indifference.
Mhm.
And there's this constant intervention from a superior power, which is what we call the divine.
Yeah.
Then how are we to learn ourselves? How can we possibly develop an understanding of what our lives are all about without experiencing the many facets of it?
Yeah. And so truly. And so I know our time's coming up here, and I just have to say, you know, there's what is called the law of reciprocity. It's what you put out comes back to you. And so I am always very, very cognizant of that energy. So what I choose to put out, what would I choose to receive? Like to receive? Play it backwards. Use the logic. What is it you would like to receive? Then if that's the case, then that's what you put out.
Exactly.
Because it comes back to you tenfold.
But you should put it out without anticipation
Yes.
of something back.
Right. Exactly.
From somebody else.
Right. It just, the law is just law. You don't, So, oh my. Thank you, Paul.
Oh, you're welcome. I would love to thank you too for being here again today. It's been a glorious, glorious, glorious conversation.
Oh, it was nothing. Thank you.
It was everything. Thank you.
It was something.
It was everything.
All right. Remember, everybody, be kind, be happy, and may good things come your way. Thank you.
1, 2,